They told me it started in 1945, 44 or 45.
You see, in the past, it was only politicians. It was a gathering place, a meeting place for politicians to come and discuss worldly affairs, and in the event of emergencies, they could, talk to each other and smooth things over.
Well, originally, it was a communication thing, because there's no way to detect this communication. You go to a remote place, have your cloning tubes underneath of the cloning center, and you can come up and talk to people in total secrecy. There's no bugs anywhere. They bring all the leaders of the countries in together, and they can all chat about stuff and enjoy this, sacrilegious, forbidden place, this cloning thing, and do whatever they can't do in real life. I'll tell you how the celebrities got into it. Well, they got real bored with each other, because most of them are fat and ugly and bald and stuff. I mean, these disposable bodies, it loses the novelty really fast. You stab yourself and get into a new body, and jump off of a cliff somewhere and get into a new body. They have a way to turn off pain sensors or amplify them past the normal pain threshold and stuff. They have it pretty figured out. Like, the stuff that they have is way out there. Also, then they got into, now we can bring people here against their will. We can bring celebrities here to hang around, do crazy stuff that you can't do in real life, and we can do taboo things, forbidden things, right?
So then they started bringing Marilyn Monroe and different film stars and stuff to make it more exciting. Well, that kept going, and then they tried to turn it into a little private club where everyone would go and do depraved things and be in this exclusive club of superheroes that can't die.
Right.
And then the politicians started showing off. The celebrities started showing off, and it got more depraved, and then they realized, hey, we can bring people here and have them memory repressed. We can bring anybody here and do whatever we want with them and send them back, and they won't be any the wiser. And so they started doing that with any pretty people they could find, and, there's no way to get caught, so they're just, having fun. And it got worse and worse and worse.
This is why JFK died, by the way, and Marilyn Monroe. JFK was going to talk about it, the cloning station. He didn't want to go. She didn't want to go. They had her there, too. They said, we'll torture you at the cloning station if you talk about it. Yeah, that's like a big thing. That's why he died. Like, man. And also, well, okay, it's like a giant pedophile playground, okay? They do not want to be found out.
There is a lot to say. Over the past 32 years, they told me so much stuff. Like, the reason that I know all this stuff, after I said all the songs and stuff, everybody thought I was Mr. Cool Kid. They all wanted to meet me. How do you think up these songs? What's your favorite food? This and that. What's your favorite color? Anything. And then the politicians, who used to get all the attention and everything, they were put on the back burner. So then they came out to, interact with me too. So then at the cloning center, what they do, sometimes politicians will do a little bit of acting or make lines for movies, and the actors and stuff will be able to have some kind of a say in world politics slightly. It's like a trade-off. It's very boring there. They don't have anything to do. Now, they all use me as the catalyst for this. They call it the show sometimes. They call it the show. There's nothing to do there. After you've had sex, and there's all the sex stuff, and you do the fighting stuff, the death sports stuff, there's nothing else to do. What do you do after that? Go have some more sex or something? There's just nothing to do. So they said that I'm the entertainer there, and it's the most amazing thing how I made a song out of thin air, out of nothing, to keep myself from getting hurt.
Everybody there is bored of it, the whole technology. It lost the novelty 10 years ago, right? So they go there and they talk to Brad Pitt, and let me tell you, all the celebrities, because they bring them there, and they tell them, look, you're here, you're going to hang with us. If you don't want to, well, if they cry and make a fuss like Lauryn Hill from the Fugees, make a song about I Get Out and stuff, they let her not go to the cloning station. They don't activate her, let her have normal dreams. But other people, they really grill them to stay. And they say, if you ever talk about it, you're going to die. They make The Simpsons, they make all the movies and stuff. They made the Avatar movie. They own Hollywood, right? So, and they get their ideas. They all discuss stuff at the cloning station, like all night.
They're all actors, right? They think that they're these great actors. They hang with actors and they try to impress the other actors with their acting, right? It's incredible. They try to outdo each other there with their evil acts, right? And whoever can do the most evil stuff is like the coolest, right? And then they talk about it there to them. And all these celebrities, it's the celebrities' fault, really. Because all the politicians, they're showing off for the celebrities that are there. And then the celebrities there feel like they're semi-world leaders because they talk to these people about all of their processes and policies and stuff, and they try to put their 2 cents in, right? And say Brad Pitt, oh, he's there. He beat the shit out of me there, just for a joke, right?
They're so, what's the word? Like, there's so many things about them that there's just not a word. They just got more and more depraved over the years and trying to outdo each other in levels of evil to look cool, because back in the day, evil was cool. And faux pas and taboo and everything, and being a devil worshiper was cool because you were against the church and it was so dangerous and everything. But now people don't really think it's all that big. Like, all the celebrities there want to leave, well, just about all of them. And people are trying to hold the place together. That's actually the reason why Britney Spears went all wonky, because she's sitting there in the stands at the cloning center watching this stuff. Because the thing is, to be evil there, you get better benefits from the Illuminati. You feel safer because you're evil, like the prime evils that are there, and they'll treat you better because you're more like them. So some of them play evil, and some of them play evil really, really good because they're traumatized. They're stuck there.
Man, they psych themselves into believing that they're evil too, just so that they'll feel safe, because they've seen these lizards and people getting tortured and killed, and they don't want any badness on them, so they try to act even more evil than the other people that are there.
It's not good. It's this is the heaviest stuff in the world that I'm telling you about right now.
The thing is, it's so widespread, this the corruption stuff. It's even bigger than what you truthers think that it is. It's they have police and doctors and everything there loyal so that they can have clone sex with like a Britney Spears or an Angelica Jolie or something while they're sleeping, because they're like, what are we doing when we're sleeping? It's a big waste of time. We can go there and have lots of fun. So but it's a terrible, diabolical, nefarious place. I've seen all kinds of stuff. It's just, they're a bunch of, basically it's a bunch of really rich, fat, old people that can't get laid, so they enslave people there to perv on them, right? Drug them, make them compliant through fear or drugs, and use them, because they'd have a hard time even paying a prostitute, really. Like, you ever see Kissinger? Yeah, he's there. Met him as clones. I met a bunch of them as clones. They all wanted to meet the guy that made all these songs, and I don't even want to talk about the songs thing, because some people have said, oh, you just want to be known for making all these songs and stuff, and really, I just want to shut these people down.
They're so secretive, and all this stuff, the most important secret stuff, they all do at the cloning station, because it's so, for sure, secret, right?
This is where they discuss all political, worldly affairs, and they let me sit in, fly on the wall, because they figure nobody's going to ever believe me that they can clone anybody in.
And they invited me to talk out about them. They said, we don't care what you do. You can't do anything to us. And they had high-profile people there. I mentioned them all on my Facebook wall, which ones they are. And I was like, no, you're impostering this person with a clone of them, with someone else's consciousness in them. This person wouldn't have anything to do with this place. And it turns out that they do. They all go there for a gross old time and to victimize people, because they're all basically losers. I have to tell you, the Illuminati, the elite, I hate calling them the elite because they're such losers. These bloodlines and stuff, they're all inbred. Like, they followed a Luciferian teaching about inbreeding makes you strong, and incest makes you young, and eating children has a beautifying effect, age-preserving effect.
Well, just about all the G20 leaders, attend this place. They've been collected into it. And other people that aren't even in the G20 are in it. A bunch of African countries, Scandinavian countries, a bunch of different royalties. They all go there. This is how they communicate. They don't go to the Bohemian Grove anymore. They just discuss things at the cloning center. And it's all just like a big retarded party. And they do the absolute most disgusting things. Like someone in their country, a beauty pageant queen or something, they'll bring them there and drug them, have them running around naked doing stupid things. And sometimes just people that they don't like, they'll bring them there and torture them, sometimes to death, like in front of people, as an example, to show what they do to people that they don't like. But this person won't even remember in real life. They'll just get sicker and sicker and sicker, and they'll have a stroke or a heart attack or something. It happens.
Something has to be done. These people are like over corrupt. They bring people to the cloning station and enslave them and have the option of allowing them to remember the memory. If they leave you memory repressed, it will give you symptoms in real life and you'll just think that you're sick. You won't know. It depends on what they do to you as a clone. If they're torturing you, you'll get badly sick. You'll get heart damage. Like my heart's messed up and I'm only 37, just turned 37. And yeah, they strap you to a rack and freaking slice you and everything. And people sit around in a crowd watching you in this big, well, not big, it's a stadium. And it has a hockey boarded ring, but it's smaller than a normal hockey rink. And the celebrities and kings and queens from weird countries are all there, sitting in the stands, watching this weird Faces of Death scenario thing. Made people sword fight. They made me sword fight there. I got all chopped up as a clone.
And so many people have been made an example of. They are all scared silent, except for like the most powerful. They're really for it. It's just a lifestyle for them, right? Because they're so powerful and stuff.
Well, they only keep you if you're used for something. Well, good looking for sex or something, or have some kind of talent or something.
But they never figured I'd turn on them. I always planned to. I always planned to turn on them. As soon as they released my memory to me, I was going to be down in the police station, on the internet, something, until they killed me. Because, you know, I can't continue to be going to this place. And I always told them I didn't want to go there. And Elizabeth's like, you'll come here if I want you to. And she's always full of threats. You don't see her talking too much on TV and stuff. Oh, man, this windbag at this place. Oh, my God. She says she is the speaker. This is her venue, and I am her soapbox. I'll just say straight out, Queen Elizabeth, she owns the specific cloning station that I'm at. It's an above-ground one. Most of them are all in the deep underground bases. The only above-ground one that I've ever seen, besides one in China.
There's different cloning stations in different deep underground bases, but all the celebrities go to an above-ground one in a wildlife preserve somewhere, and it's just like an oval sports venue, like a dog and pony show.
It's domed. I'm figuring it must be in a nature preserve because I saw the outside and there's just trees.
So the cloning station is in Canada, or the one that I'm brought to is in Canada. I've been brought to a few before, but then they all just started bringing me to the same one.
That's the main one.
Right.
Well, the rich one, anyway. The reason that I go to that one, and all the rich people, famous people go to that one, it's real exclusive, because down in the bases, it smells like hospital air, right? And Elizabeth and a lot of the other rich people, they don't like being down in bases. Also because there's more aliens in the bases ones, because they're connected to the underground.
The cloning center I was at, it's got a concourse and little rooms in the concourse and vending machines, canteen and all that stuff, but it's not a public place. It's like way out of the way.
They got guards there, like, but not on the cloning floor. On the cloning floor, it's kind of different floors don't even know what's going on the other floors. They don't have security clearance.
Well, in deep bases, like there's a Dulce base, it has an entire floor devoted to cloning, okay? Now, it also has another floor devoted to gene splicing. You should see some of the stuff I've seen.
beaver rats and all kinds of stuff. They're trying to make weapons for war, and they showed me everything. They thought I was loyal.
They make all kinds of monsters and stuff for military weapons and for scientific exploration of like different enzymes they might have in them. You have an entire floor devoted to mind stuff, mind tech, but the cloning floor is the one that has like the big auditorium and the seating and the arena and stuff for like the death sports and stuff. In Area 51, underground, they have an entire floor devoted to cloning. A lot of the deep bases, they have an entire floor devoted to gene splicing.
I don't know the exact locations of them, though. They're military bases, like supposedly this Pine Gap in Australia, someplace called Montouk. But these are the like advertised places. There's a lot of unadvertised places, like there's supposedly a underground military base for every state, sometimes two. And I don't know where they are, but like one of them is, okay, you know that series, the Stargate series?
Yeah.
They use an actual underground base for some of the tapings. They let them film there, like sometimes. But that's a real place that has a cloning floor too. Yeah, the underground bases are huge. Some of them have little studios. It ain't nothing. They're big bases, man. Shaped like upside-down Christmas trees, like for stability, like structural strength of the whole thing, like so that you don't have to support the weight of the upper floors as much. It's a pretty ingenious design, actually, if you're going to build an underground base like that. But yeah, that's really big, like football fields in there, and you know, in a lot of space to put stuff. And yeah, they have a few studios. They have a basketball court, and they have a pool, all kinds of stuff.
Chinese clones at the Chinese Cloning Center, they have light brown whites of the eyes. And England knows how to make the whites of the eyes whiter, but they won't tell the Chinese people because they don't share information like that a lot. Yeah. But it's craziness.
And they have big screens at the Cloning Center where they can get these murder videos
Of not even just clones, like real people getting killed.
and they'll sit around watching them. And some people don't like watching them, some people do. But the ones that don't like watching them, they don't even say that they don't like it. They just sit there and watch it. They're so scared.
Oh, the Picton murders up in Canada, with that guy that killed all the hookers. That was set up by them. They videotaped all the murders. They used to clone Picton into the place and had him running around talking to him, and he felt like he was like a celebrity, right?
The Picton stuff, that was government known. Okay, let me tell you, Queen Elizabeth does not like prostitutes for some reason. They wanted to make something called, these things called snuff films. And this is also the reason why Britney Spears went loopy, because she watched too many murder videos and seen too many lizards eat too many kids at this place. You see, Britney's been there since she was a teen, or even younger, and, you know, if she wanted to be famous or promoted, she would have to go there during REM, and she's an assembly line sex slave, basically. Doesn't want it to be known, but she does want out of there. I mean, I'm not going to give details of the disgusting things that I've seen about specific people, but, like, that's their business, but, like, stuff that's been done to me, and I'll talk all kinds about that, or if I've seen them hurting other people there or whatever, I'll talk about that, but they want me to not discuss their big fur balls they get into there. Anyway, the Picton stuff.
Where Robert Picton killed all those prostitutes and fed them to the pigs. They were heavily involved in. They set that all up. They had him videotape each of the murders.
And someone would go to his place in a car, get the video right away because they were sought after.
They would sit there waiting impatiently so that they could get these videos.
You would come running in and they would put it on screen. These scumbags just sit there and watch them and laugh.
And I seen almost all of them, and I was forced to watch them.
The Picton stuff was really unsettling and disturbing because, well, Elizabeth wanted to be real close on hand to me because everybody wanted to look at me, talk to me, and I was like focused on with the spotlight there at this place because I did these songs and different money-making ideas for different people. So she always wanted to be around me to get in on the spotlight. She's like that. She's like a camera hand for all the celebrities that are there. She said to strengthen my mind, she wanted me to watch all of the Picton murders. And they had a camera in the corner of the room where he did these murders.
I have to stay normal. See, watching those hookers get killed that time, he killed them in the same room every single time. Picture this, okay? This is a perfect room to tell you about this. I don't even know what the guy's house looks like, right? Never watched none of it because I couldn't. It'd make me sick. I'd start getting nauseous and shake and stuff whenever I watched it. Anyway, the room is like this. There's a camera in the corner of this room, right? Up in the ceiling.
Yeah.
Bed here, small end table with a little wooden chair.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture on the wall over here, right? And doors right there. Bring the hooker in every single time, right? It's terrible. Terrible, terrible. It messed me up. A bunch of other ones went crazy too, but they just stayed in the house so that they wouldn't go freaky in public like Britney Spears. This messed a lot of people there up. They stopped showing people this, that kind of stuff, except for a certain group of them. They would only bring certain ones there to view this stuff. He would bring them in the room, oh my god. And he used a ball-peen hammer because he said, because they used to bring him to the cloning station too. And, but they had to bring him on the second night because if they brought him the same night, he was too excited and he would ramble on. So they bring him on the second night after he murdered the hooker, I guess. You bring him in, it was like clockwork every time. Bring him in, he had a roll of plastic underneath of the bed, right? So it would just roll up. Bring him in, there was a picture on the wall right here. Nice big picture, big frame, right? He said, check out this picture over here. My brother painted this picture for me. You come over, check this out. This is how he murdered all these women, pretty much. He'd stand here, put his arm around them or something. He'd reach in back of his belt, he'd say, look at this picture, my brother painted this for me. And then when they're like, oh, that's a beautiful painting, he'd reach in back of his belt, pull out the ball-peen hammer with no claw because it can hook on clothing and maybe kill him. He'd haul it back and crack them over the head with the hammer as hard as he could.
I used to almost have to give her like 2 or 3 or something, and one time one of the hookers got him. I'll tell you about that some other time or something, but he got them all. He said, I asked him one time at the cloning station, because they would bring him there and ask him what it was like and everything, and like he was a celebrity or something. It was weird, like, and they're all trying to act evil like they're vampires or something, and he would talk and stuff, and they asked me if I had any questions for him. I said, why a ball-peen hammer? And he said, well, normal hammer has a claw in it, carpenter's hammer, and if I had to do a second strike, the claw might get hooked on somebody's clothing, one of the girls' clothing, and it might, when on my drawback, it might hook on, then he's ruined because he was just a skinny old man. So they have 2 big screens at the cloning station over the stands, one on either side. Well, a lot of people can't watch them.
People are freaking out. Some people saying, I gotta get out of here, I gotta leave, I can't watch this. The celebrities are allowed to leave. I wasn't, and the other slavish people, they weren't allowed to leave either, and they had to sit there and watch. Elizabeth would sit right down next to me and nudge me if I looked away from the screen, and said she wanted me to see the evil that men do, and she wanted me to be strong-minded and this and that, but they were always causing a detriment in my life, so it's not like they were trying to make me strong or anything. They were actually just trying to mess me up because I'm normal people and they're just corrupt and cold, man.
Oh, and at the Picton farm, he didn't feed all the hookers to the pigs. Some high-profile RCMP, Canadian Mounted Police, and judges and doctors and everything, some of them are Luciferians, and they wanted to know what human tasted like. So they went to Picton's farm and had a bite to eat and barbecue out in the big warehouse pig farm thing. Just barbecue right out in the middle and fried up a couple hookers. And one of the choicest parts, I guess. And yeah, they ate some of them. They got rid of that house real quick. Like, it's too bad they didn't. They would have seen the screw holes in the corner of the room, the kill room. Man, it's bad. Well, I know that the cloning center that I go to, the one above ground for the Richie Rich people, the cloning center is within 5 hours drive by car
in a radius around the Picton farm, because they would speed drive these murder videos from the Picton farm to the cloning station to be watched by everyone at this cloning station. And I remember being there and waiting, because they said bring another video from the farm, and I timed it, and I even asked them what time it was, like kept on asking what time it was, like guesstimating the distance.
So that I wasn't being deceived, I found out for sure that it took 5 hours drive from the Picton farm to bring these videos.
And then I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, there's like nature preserves out there where you're not allowed to trespass, right? And different military stuff, you enter and you may be shot type of thing. And it's in one of these places, because I was outside of this above ground one before. There is nothing around it. There's all trees, one overgrown dirt road leading to it. There's no sign of civilization on the horizon.
There's a lot of land in that, though, but it's most likely in a nature preserve, because all that's around this stadium thing is trees. There's no smoke on the horizon, even no air traffic, no nothing. Somewhere in Canada, anyway, the vending machines at the place take Canadian change. So the Brown something massacre, Brownsville massacre down in Texas somewhere. Well, that was all about them. The children of the fold got murdered, a big religious cult. They all got murdered and chopped up. Well, the fold was the cloning station, and they were going there and getting freaked on by a bunch of elderly rich perverts. And then they didn't want to anymore, and they said, leave us alone, we have computers, we're going to tell all about the fold. And they went there, killed them all. Now, they have these clone parties, okay? And also they I'll just tell you flat out, because they showed me, they call it the catalog.
They told me that I could choose different kids to victimize there, and I was like, well, I don't want to. I'll bang Gwen Stefani. Which I did a few times, but it got old. It lost the novelty. Yeah, Madonna, a bunch of them. I kind of, banged a bunch of them, but they were all willing, But I don't know why, but they thought that this would appeal to me. And they're like, yeah, we have the catalog. And I'm like, the catalog? And they give me this binder. It's like the type of thing that you would see hockey cards in little plastic sleeves, about 9 pictures to a page or more, 12 pictures to a page. And
they get the school pictures from schools all over North America, and they look at the cutest ones, and they get the medical stuff from them and clone them and use them for sex slaves without the parents' permission. And it doesn't really matter if they had permission or not, right? But this is what they do. I'm just telling you the severity of what they do there, right?
They were all kids, boys and girls. Some of them were school pictures. Some of them were pictures of the kids as clones that they would take. But those pictures, none of the kids were smiling.
Wow.
None of them. They were all plain-faced, and I was like, what am I supposed to do? I was sitting in the stands this night, because most of the nights I'm down in the dirt, focus in the center. And they passed me this black binder, and I open it up, and I'm looking at it, flipping through it, and I'm like, so I'm supposed to pick one of them? And they go, pick a few. And they're all smiling at me as if I'll be very agreeable to this. But it just disgusted me. I threw it down the stairs. They're gray painted cement stairs in between the stands of this small sports venue. And I threw it down the stairs, and a couple people went down and grabbed it when it went down to the bottom to the hockey boards, as if it was like the Bible or something, right? As if it was like so important. Oh, he threw the catalog, right? And I'm like, I ain't doing that. You guys are sick. Wait till the future, man. I assume you guys are going to kill me, but I'm still going to do what I can. You guys are all doomed. Wait until it happens. I can't wait to see it. And then they're like, that'll be the end of the world, Don. And I'm like, well, so be it. We can't have this going on.
And then they do death stuff to themselves because they can turn. Somehow they have the tech to make the clone not feel any pain at all. They said it's something to do with how a person becomes a quadriplegic. Just the first second before they're quadriplegic, they can't feel any pain, stabbing in the thigh or anything, just like a quadriplegic can. Well, but they can still move around and stuff. They've done it to me. It feels weird. Like they let me stab myself in the forearm and go yick, 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 right up the arm and didn't feel anything, and it's bleeding and stuff. It's pretty gross.
So you can jump down the stairs, break all the bones in your body, and look up and laugh and die, and just come back into the next clone body if they have, like, at least 2 of you made. Like, they can make multiples and leave them to be activated one after the other, which is what they do with me a lot.
And they can turn it up to the pain threshold on a remote control. They have everything down.
They used to make me sword fight a lot out there, did a couple spear fights and stuff. Just a lot of fighting, like death sports stuff, and they all just sit around and watch.
When I was a little kid, I was like a freaking teddy bear, so I was like, I don't want to, and then they just came up and stabbed me anyway. Next clone. That hurt bad. Okay. I still don't want to. Throw down the knife, act like I'm mad. Some Asian kid just come up and stab you up anyway. Next clone, and it hurts a lot too. It hurts just like real life. So after that, you're just going to get stabbed again. So after that, you fight. So fought. And then they taught me all kinds of cool tricks, sneaky moves, different things.
They told me to watch The Hunger Games. They said it's kind of like it. I didn't watch it. They make all the movies. They own all the movie stations, right? Or all the movie companies. Elizabeth herself secretly owns, like, movie companies and music companies.
You get UFC guys out there, and they're fighting out in the center ring with their pain sensors off, and it looks ridiculous. They're just clubbing at each other painlessly, right? It's just retarded. And they're watching people sword fight and stuff, and it's gross. It's gross. Like, my sword fighting career out there ended when I freaked out after I won. Come in on this guy, and I got really good at sword fighting. They had me sword fighting little kids when I was a kid, right? And they put little samurai armor on us and everything. And had to be a dark color because they put a spotlight on you and everything. It's an absolute nightmare. So anyway, I got pretty good at sword fighting, but then I was sword fighting this guy. It was about 2 years ago. And I whacked his katana to the side, because I always got a katana they give me, right? And I whacked his katana to the side, and I came down, and we both of us had our pain sensors turned totally off, right? You can still feel a slight ding when it hits a bone, but other than that, you're numb. You can watch your guts come out and everything. It's incredible to see, right? But it's very disturbing. So anyway, I went down to my knees with an overhand chop at the same time. Went down his shoulder and down his ribs, and it went ding, 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 through his ribs, right? And I felt the vibrations in the handle, and then it just went BLAP! All kinds of blood came out, and his purple and blue guts come out, and I went like this. Everybody was watching, right? And everybody's like, yeah, right? And I went, fell on the floor, right in the dirt, in the fetal position, going, and then they're like, Donnie, what are you doing? You won. And I'm like, and then they played it back to me after that, the video, because they video everything from the top of the concourse, right? From the top of the bowl. Always got up there with a video camera, videoing everything, so they can watch it later, right? So then they showed it back to me later, because I don't even remember falling on the floor and doing that, right? And then they said, you look stupid. I was like, oh yeah, because you guys really want me to look cool out here, right? And so then they never made me sword fight anymore. But worse than sword fighting, spear fighting. Spear fighting lasts a long time. Pokey, 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 man.
It gets better. See, this is the cloning aspect of it, but there's many other things that the Freemasons and Illuminati do, and that they showed me. And they're really confident that they're secure because how far out their technology is, if anybody was to talk about it, it would be instantly not believed because it's so advanced. But I'm just spilling it anyway because I hate them so bad. There's nobody that hates them in the world more than me. They mess with me so bad. Terrible. I was like a torture display spectacle for rich and famous people there.
Well, you know, all technologies improve over time. Computers get smaller, cell phones, this and that. All of this stuff, even as whack as it sounds, sci-fi and everything, it's all just technology that they have.
Right.
they don't have magic or anything. Some of them that are superstitious like that, they like to believe there's something to it, but they have no magic. And all that occult witches and goblins stuff that they talk about stuff, I've been shown so much, and I begged them to show me everything, because if there was any kind of powers to be had, I wanted them. But and they would do. But there's been nothing that I've ever seen. Only science and technology, which could be mistaken for some kind of magic, right?
I'll tell you all about it. It's easily to explain. When I was a little kid, what was the most exciting thing there? Like, this kid that made all the cool songs, right? Like, wait till you hear about the amount of songs. It's absurd. It's going to make me look like some kind of freak. But when I was there, people like Vladimir Putin, he wants to get up and talk and interact in front of all the celebrities that are there.
I'm scared of this guy. I was scared of him before I even seen him at the cloning station because of what I heard about him, right?
So he'll be up and he'll say, we have this technology, look at what we can do, right? And then they're all, it was like they were trying to show off by showing me what they could do and what they had and stuff. And then I was a member, right?
Yeah.
I was never a member. I was always trying to deceive them until the day I could destroy them. And, but I faked being a friend. So then they're like, look what we can do. And everybody's showing me different things. And then Elizabeth's, well, we have this.
But they all hang around out there like they're super gods. Like, they got god complexes and stuff like doctors get. And Elizabeth says she is the technology god.
They showed me a few things trying to impress me when they were asking me to join them willingly. Let's see. Firstly, I saw a particle beam. Vladimir himself showed me this, and it looked old, actually, like a World War I gun with a crank on it, like a Gatling gun that you would turn on a crank, just like a Gatling gun like that. But what it did, like he showed me, I had my pain sensor turned off, and I was chained up to this thing. He goes, watch this done. And he turns the crank, and it went click, and a beam of light came out of one of these barrels of this Gatling gun looking thing. And I said, wow, what's that do? And it was like a focused just beam of light, like a flashlight, but just straight, like very, very straight. And then he kept turning the crank, and flashlight, and each of these lights kept on going blink, 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 blink. And over time, it burned a hole right through me, my stomach, an exact hole right through my stomach. It was like, how did you do that? How's that work? And he said, it's particle beam. See, the thing is, the light, there's a little bit of heat in this light or something, and you don't feel it that much with one light. But over time, when he does these lights over and over again, what it does, it's not even the light that burns you. The light forces away dust particles, right? Forces them away from the light with the heat, sends it into a straight path. And it's these dust particles, all these, like, must be millions of dust particles that go into you. It just keeps on sending all these particles into you. And that's why it's called a particle beam, because it puts the particles right through you. Yeah, that's just one of the weird guns that I've seen. I don't even know exactly how it works. Use particle beam, as Dirty Vladimir would say.
MK Ultra and all that is done by them. And MK Ultra, you need a clone of the person to use MK Ultra on someone. It doesn't take much to get a clone of you, and they can keep your memory repressed about certain things and allow you to remember certain other things. And what they can do, they bring you there, and they put a chip into the clone's head, and they can make you see stuff.
They run them through these things called MK Ultra scenarios. They can put a chip in the clone's head, and they can implant sound, like visualizations, better than computer graphics and everything. Your own brain will extrapolate the missing pieces of these scenarios and stuff. They make people think that they're secret agents and they're on a mission, all kinds of stuff. They run people around.
Like, really quickly, I'll tell you basically an example of MK Ultra on a person, okay? They get a woman, a beautiful woman. This guy wants this woman, but he's not as good looking as what she usually goes out with. So they clone the woman, and this kid is a rich man's kid. They clone the woman to the cloning station, put her in the center of the dirt ring. This is hockey boards with dirt in the middle, and surround her by a bunch of black girls. It turns out this is her biggest fear, getting beat up by a bunch of black people, a bunch of black girls. So the black girls will push her around. Girl, we're going to beat you up, and she's drugged. And anyway, the guy will come out after a little while. She'll be all scared. Guy will come out and say, hey, leave her alone. And he's a clone too. And he'll walk her clone out of the situation. They'll put this girl, when she sleeps, into different situations where she's in a life or death situation and have this guy save her. Anyway, they've never met. Now, in real life, they can do this 16 different times and just corny, straight out nerdy scenarios, they call them scenarios. Next time that girl sees that guy in real life, from the visual, she will be automatically predisposed to like this guy and think that she would be safe around this guy, and this guy's like a champion or whatever. Depends on whatever they program in. And it's basically that easy. That's programming right there. They can also do it with fear, so that I don't know, someone will fear someone the same way that they would be attracted, right? Be apprehensive around the person. It's just all kinds of different technologies that they have. And
they made me have sex with a girl in a field one time, surrounded by guys on horses with torches. It's weird. It was nothing weird. They just wanted me to have sex with her, and that was it. And I just wanted to stand there and watch this strange actress.
I've seen people morph into like 8 or 9 feet tall people when they're really just 6 feet tall. And when you're sitting there watching them at the cloning station, you don't see anything, but they see what they're seeing. Like, it gets sent right through the chip into their head. They can do it with sound too, make you hear stuff. But yeah, like the morphing thing, I can tell you, you can put your mind to rest. That does not happen. It's just not possible. Like, they made Princess Di see them shape-shifting into lizards too. Like, they MK Ultra'd her hard. They had a clone of her there. They were using her pretty bad. They played some mind tricks on her pretty bad. For one, she didn't want to attend the cloning center anymore and was going to go public with it all. And she was about to marry an Arab, and they didn't want her to do that. Well, there's more to that too. They had a guy on a motorcycle. He wasn't a paparazzi guy. He was a agent guy that shined a light in the side of the car, and they swerved away from the light and hit the pylon. Like, and she wasn't even dead when she got into the ambulance, but they finished her off either in the ambulance or the hospital. They wanted her dead bad. But yeah, they just discuss it out there because nobody ever talks about what happens out there at the cloning center. And so they would just be right off the cuff with it, talk about it plain as day, and totally knowing that no one was ever going to try to talk about them or anything. So.
But you don't know everything that MK does. There's other applications, man. Like, there's a video audio thing that goes along with it. It's called mind voice. Some people call it artificial telepathy. I heard about this when I was a kid, and I was like, that's not possible to do. You see, I'll tell you about it, and you're lucky to know, just because no one's going to tell you. Like, you can read about it on the net. They disclosed it, and people are like, oh, yeah, sure, they have this, right? People think they have to put suction cups all over the head. No. When you're a clone there, though, they can just put a chip right in your head and in the clone's head and read it like that. Listen, I'll tell you what the artificial telepathy does. Most people think in their own head, formulate things in their own voice in their head. They think to themselves, oh, man, I'm hungry. I could go to the fridge and make a sandwich right now. And they think that sound in their own head. A lot of people do. Most people do. Now, they have a technology which allows them to eavesdrop and listen in on that. It's a deviation from MK. right? And then there's the Control MK stuff with the trigger words and stuff. That's a different, like, spin-off side of it. It has different applications. Now, listen, once you train with this, you can sit in front of a speaker that's dedicated to your own mind voice, all right? Now, you can think in your own head a sound to anything. Listen. Think in your own head. There was no sound. Nobody heard anything, but you put that in your own head. You can make that sound come out of the friggin' speaker because the NSA can eavesdrop in on you that hard. It's not just cell phones, man. It's terrible. You can't even think. Like, the visual thing is harder to explain, but the audio thing is just that. You can sit in front of a speaker and play your own thoughts to yourself. Now, what they had me doing, how you said, how do you use MK to help you make songs? Well, I'll tell you. You think of a sound. Yes, you have a guitar player. I don't know how to play guitar. Like, I know chords and stuff, but cut no riffs with a guitar. If you have a guy stand in front of you at the cloning center, play the guitar, right? You can replay that sound in your own head, in your memory of what that guitar just sounded like. And it comes out of the speaker again. And then you can twist it and augment it, change it, add to it. Then you can add a drum line in the background. You can do this with the aid of this chip in your head as a clone. And I'm supposed to have chips in my body, too. That James Casbolt guy got chips in him, too. He wants to say about all the stuff. But the thing is, and I want him to say, too, I want him to say, listen, I've been sitting there at the cloning place watching this bloke make songs and getting stabbed. I want him to say that, but see, then when he goes to sleep tonight, he's going to have to answer to all the cloners as to why he said that. So, Inception too, yeah, that's right. Inception is actually, do you know why all these things correlate? It's because all these people have seen this stuff, like the Inception stuff is the MK visual stuff. I told you about the audio stuff, but the video stuff, you can actually, with practice, you can visualize this stuff and make other people see it when you're clones, only as clones, or if the other person has a certain chip in their head.
Now, the thing is, I got one in my head. A lot of people do. But at cloning, they can put a chip into the clone's head, like, easy. They don't even have to do surgery. They can put it on an ice pick, basically, and push it right in to a certain depth and stuff. And if it doesn't work, then just go to the next clone and try it again. Not just an ice pick, like a specially designed ice pick, you know? Mm-hmm. But it does give you brain damage to put it in there. That's why they put them into kids, because kids' brains will heal better than an adult's would, you know, over time. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, they do chip people. Like, you probably heard about Amanda Bynes going out on a limb saying, I got a chip in my head. They made me say this. Well, funny thing is, she actually does. Wow. Oh, man. She's all squirrely now. Like, when I mention things, I can't afford to speculate just in case I'm wrong, right? So I only ever tell people stuff that I've seen and know for certain. They tried to trick me with a lot of stuff, right? They can delude you into thinking things, too. But I know what that feels like after 35 years. And they can't really trick me with stuff now so that I would know, or I would think that it was factual, you know?
People don't know that they're MK Ultra people. Like, they think it's real, too. Like, they have a dream where they're in a familiar place, like their apartment, and they see a scenescape and everything, but it's not even real. They're at a room at the cloning station on drugs, and they don't even know it. And they can give you a certain drug that'll simulate the feeling of being in a dream, too. So they can make you fuzzy so you think you're in a dream, and they come in and pull a porno on you. They record it and everything. They videotape all kinds of stuff out there, like alien abductions and stuff.
A lot happens when they get brought. It's like horror movie porn to them. There's a large archive of video of people being cloned in and strapped down to a table and messed with by, well, sometimes they actually are aliens, but Some of the other times it's just people with really, really good masks. Hollywood quality. They've even, as I've written before, they even get chicken skin, dye the chicken skin gray, and stretch it over a wooden mask that will make them look like a big gray alien, right? And it looks very ultra realistic. Hollywood quality, like horror movie prop stuff. And the thing is, they're still safely in their beds at home. They were never taken.
They have a fake saucer set up out there. It's like a stage prop, and the people never see the outside of the saucer, so they got a ramp, they walk up. They put people on a slab.
Make them open up their eyes on the table, and they're surrounded by, like, these alien guys that are all going to, like, take turns on this person.
And when they videotape it, too, because they like people's facial expressions, and these people think that they've been abducted by aliens. And, like, I'm talking like smart businessmen and everything, and they're too embarrassed to say that they were raped by a male gray alien that wasn't even a gray alien, but he thinks it was. But they do this on a grand scale. Like the abduction porn they do, they've been doing it for decades. And the masks have only gotten better through trial and error.
Like, some people, they set up a camera to watch them sleep because they figured they were getting abducted, taken out of their house, teleported even. They don't know how it was happening. They didn't even know it was clones. They thought it was their real body because it feels real. It was very clear. It'd be very easy to get fooled that way. So they set up a camera. They go to sleep. Blink. They get zonked into the cloning center. You know, consciousness transfer into the clone. And they're like, oh, good, I got the camera set up though. Whatever happened, I'm going to see it when they bounce me back. They go back and they were sleeping in their bed the entire night, of course, right?
Right.
And then they can't explain it. But now you know.
They don't get bored of it. They do it to just random people. All you got to be is good looking, or, you know, they don't discriminate.
They do rituals sometimes, but they're modernized now. They know these rituals don't do anything. It was really just the old people that used to keep that going for tradition and to scare people, scare the kids that are stuck there, memory repressed, into never saying no, right? They have it, like, really regulated. It's just really clockwork. They give kids their Stockholm Syndrome, and then the kids are way more compliant. And they scare them with the lizards and everything, and
They've done it so much that they discovered through trial and error how to psychologically make the desired effect happen, like in record time. Like Stockholm Syndrome on a kid, they can put that on a kid like in record time. They know exactly what to do and say.
Yeah.
They got the brain down, totally, mapped out totally. They say it's so big they can't see it all, they don't discover. They know everything about it now. What they're trying to do now is add stuff to the brain, technology to the brain to augment intelligence. Like, they have the brain inside and out now.
Now, the head chip thing. Man, I know this is a lot. Like, I had to explain about all this stuff, my total disclosure and phases, because I didn't want to lump it all out in at one time for people.
see, when it's the third aspect. There's the cloning, there's the lizard parasite problem, which makes the drones, which are crazy. And then there's the dead consciousnesses recorded on Microchip. Now,
There's a way to cheat death, but it's flawed. They discovered this, like, billionaires, even in ancient Egyptian times, they wanted to figure out how to cheat death, live forever, because billionaires can't take their money with them.
A bunch of billionaires and millionaires got together a long time ago. They said, I can cause wars, I can kill people, I can bring down monarchies even. One thing I can't do, I can't prevent myself from dying.
so why don't we all put our heads together? We'll throw a couple billion to 1,000 Chinese people and get them all set on cloning technology and figure out how to live forever, because I don't want to die. So they did that, and they figured it out.
Well, you must have heard people that saying they have microchips in their heads and stuff.
Right.
Well, a bunch of them did, really. And it's true. But there's different kinds of chips. there's not only one chip, there's different chips with different functions. And the most important one that they got is what they call the Soulstone chip.
They said it's like the best technology that they have. Like, people live on this way, but it's very, very flawed.
Now they can record your consciousness, everything that you are. Basically, they can record it on this microchip.
The thing used to be as big as a circuit board. They tested this on a Chinese farmer. They showed me the video clips. Had it sticking out the guy's head and everything. Didn't compensate him, just sent him back home. Said they had to do something to him. They whittled it down so that the microchip is supposedly the size of like just a bit bigger than an apple seed, right? And it's a flawed copy as well, but not as flawed. It can totally hold your mental stuff, right?
Now, they can take this chip, and what they used to do is drill a hole in the back of a person's head, and then put the chip on a stainless steel rod, and have a rangefinder and like a half compass so they can tell the angle and everything. And they go into they push it in through the back of the head, through that drilled hole, through the brain tissue, which is brain damaging, you know, obviously.
Right.
And then it gets to a certain depth, and then the chip is left there. Now then they just get like a remote control, like the one from you would see from like a TV or something, it looks like. They point that at the person and press a button. Well, they then become that person. Like, they can body snatch that way. Just in a different way than what I was telling you about the lizards that body snatch.
Right.
This is a technological way to body snatch, and the other one is a biological. But they do this. The thing is, for some reason, they stopped going in through the back of the head. Now, what they can do, you must have wondered. People come out and they say, I'm chipped. You know, I've been chipped. But they don't know how. Well, it happens in hospitals, even. People that go under anesthetic, sometimes they have their eyeball taken out. Like, and it comes out and it's still attached. It's hanging off with the optic nerve that goes in and connects it, right? They can have it, take it right out, and it's out. But then they put that chip on a rod, and then behind the eye they find the rangefinder to go back there, and they just push it right in through your eye guts, the eye socket, and it goes into the brain from that angle, and then you don't have a little bald dot in the back of your head, you know, or a hole in your skull. And I think the distance to travel is shorter too, to get to like the thalamus or the hypothalamus area of the brain that it has to get to. That also, well, then they put your eyeball back in, and you wake up after your appendicitis or appendectomy, or to get your tonsils out or whatever. You wake up and your eye hurts. And you say, oh my God, what's wrong with my eye? My head hurts so bad. And then they say, well, it's just a side effect of the anesthetic. And what do you know, right? You know no better.
Rich people can put their stuff on a microchip and set this into somebody's head and basically body snatch them that way as well. And they keep it secret.
If the person dies that day, they take that microchip, because they can re-record every night, and they take that microchip and put it into either a clone or a real person's body, which has less side effects, which is what they do, and take them over bodily.
Living in a clone is not as good. You're not mentally stable as a clone.
Thing is, the clone is just like a negative copy of the person, so it's not even like the person living. It's a flawed copy.
Sometimes they need to get a reclone. They have to go into the next body. There's a kind of clone that after you're dead they reanimate you in, and you have to get recloned every 6 months to a year. They do it at like this Camp David hospital somewhere. The nurses down there say that they deal with the uglies. They call them the scary uglies or something. It's pretty commonplace. They go in because the brain will degrade over time. It's like they had Eminem on a video there, and he was talking like he had just had a stroke. His slurred speech and everything. Well, they did that intentionally. He needed to be recloned or go into his next clone. They're trying to put it out there in the public now because they don't know what to do, and they know if they take the first step, they might be killed. So they're using me to take the first step. Only the stuff is so complex with technologies and stuff, and they all intermix and mingle. It starts getting a little weird sounding, right? And so I gotta try to stick to the basics to tell people about this, because once people go, yeah, okay, that's true about the cloning, then everybody's gonna know that the lizards are real, the hosts are real, and everything else is real too. Elizabeth going into hospital like that, and different people playing sick and stuff, they can go into hospital and not be bothered by investigators, right? Because they're too ill to be questioned. Okay, when they're a reanimated dead person, right? Yeah. They're twisted. They come back kind of like the Pet Sematary movie with Stephen King's movie. Not as bad though, and they don't rot and stuff. But they're angry all the time. They're walking around, they're looking at people, and they're saying, and they have bad side effects. One-track mind. They're not as smart anymore. They're weird now.
Some of the main evils there, they are pretty stupid, because the thing is, they're already dead, and they're recorded on Microchip, and they're put into somebody else's head, but after they do that, they come back dumb as hell. And actually, they come back most of the time as a gay child molester. Seriously, for some reason. Doesn't that sound strange? For some reason, when you're undead clone, you come back a gay child molester. And sometimes they want to eat people, and sometimes they want to kill people and torture people. They're jealous of real people that they're not alive anymore.
And they're looking around at everybody having fun, and they're like, all these people don't have these impediments and side effects that I have, and they just hate the living. They're like, want everybody else to be like them, so that they're not inferior to them or something. I don't know. They kind of tap back into caveman instinct.
They have to be babysat all the time by what people call handlers. They can't go to the grocery store by themselves. They're messed up.
They can't fix this technology. It's a flawed technology, like with a dead end. There is no fixing it. There's trying to, though, but they said that they will never be able to fix it. The cells are grown too quickly or something.
And the thing is, with people like Hitler and Stalin and Mao Zedong, Chairman Mao from China, they were recorded on Mark I technology, which was not as good as Mark II. And they got Mark III and IV now, and maybe even more, for all I know. But they can't make the people that were originally recorded on Mark I technology, they can't upgrade them to Mark II technology. So those people are really whack, right? And they supposedly have bodies in the real world walking around still, but they're not as smart or normal as they were in their real life. Not like they were normal in the first place, but yeah.
Some of the Nuremberg guys, those Nazi guys that were killed, did you ever notice that those Nuremberg guys looked weird, their dead bodies with the eyes bulging out and stuff? That's one of the reasons they don't use Mark I clones anymore, is because they come out all warped looking in the face. Some of them were organic robotoids. They faked their own death, these Nazi guys, and they got away.
But Hitler is still at this place. I've spoken to him there.
Wow.
Joseph Stalin is still at this place. He has a lot of say there, Joseph Stalin.
And these dead people, they don't want to get shut down, because you see lizard drones, parasited hosts, they'd have to be killed to be wiped out. Like, you'd have to kill them bodily. Like,
You actually got to chop that thing's head off to kill it. Shoot it or whatever. They die normal just like everybody else. They don't have superpowers. And they're actually deficient. They're dumber than the original person.
But with the dead consciousness Chipheads people, you just have to press a button on them and they get deactivated. They drop limp.
You don't even have to kill them. You press a button and they shut off like a light switch. There's no pain, there's no nothing. They just don't want to cease to be existing, right?
They're scared of the hereafter and all, because they've been real bad in real life and stuff. And anyway, this is like the biggest anybody's ever talked about them, ever.
Back from the dead.
we're back from the dead.
Hell yeah.